Thousands turned out for a big May Day march and rally in downtown Los Angeles today. The key issue is immigration reform and the battle over amnesty. And Eyewitness News reporter Robert Olguin joins us live on Olvera Street with more. Robert?
Yeah, traditionally, May Day celebrations focused on workers' rights. In recent years, that focus has shifted toward immigrant rights. And as in years past, this year's May Day celebrations here in Los Angeles have thousands calling for immigration reform, just as the U.S. Senate is set to tackle that very issue. The chants and placards are almost impossible to ignore as thousands of people cram onto the streets and sidewalks of downtown L.A. As part of this year's May Day celebration, the thousands who marched down Broadway this afternoon were focused on immigration reform, calling attention to the estimated 11 million undocumented immigrants living in the U.S.
These people are just as American as you and I. You know, if you grow up here from 2 years old, how does that make you any different from me who grew up from 0 years old?
We want to see immigration reform so that our students and our parents in our community can have greater access to the resources that they need.
Calls for immigration reform are nothing new at May Day marches in Los Angeles, but adding urgency to this year's event is the fact that a bipartisan group of senators have crafted a wide-ranging 844-page immigration reform bill.
It is a good middle ground at this point, so I'm hoping that that stays somewhere close to what the Senate bill is stating at this point.
The public needs to weigh in and show that it's time for America to fix a broken immigration system.
The march today, one of the largest in the U.S., drew an estimated 2,000 participants. But not everyone here was focused on immigration reform or workers' rights. Some were calling for an end to the Federal Reserve. Others were here to protest against a fictional galaxy-spanning regime. And others, well, they weren't sure why they were here.
I don't really know. I actually don't really know what's going on.
The crowd marched from Olympic and Broadway to the Placita on Olvera Street, where rallies and performances continued.
There are millions of people in places like Los Angeles that have so many families that are undocumented, that are always being separated. And to see them here celebrating, showing their support for this important issue is just, it lasts, you know, the energy lasts us the whole year until next May.
And back out here live, as you can see here, several hundred people gathered at the Placita here. This is part political rally, part street festival, really, and this is expected to continue with bands, with speakers, etc., until about 6 o'clock tonight, and street closures around this area here, right around Main and Arcadia, will remain in effect until at least 7 o'clock tonight. Reporting live from downtown L.A., Robert Olguin, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Robert, thank you very much. Now in downtown L.A., where thousands have been rallying on behalf of immigrant rights. Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suiters there live with the latest on the demonstrations. Leanne?
Ellen, rally just wrapped up here at Olympic and Broadway. All those marchers now headed north on Broadway. Officials say that the crowds weren't as large in years past, but still thousands have turned out.
Making their voices heard, hundreds gather in downtown L.A. for May Day demonstrations, a day to celebrate workers as well as call for change.
The migrant worker here in the United States, I'd like to see some immigration reform that will recognize their humanity and by way of legalization.
There's a lot of families living in the shadows, and, you know, they need to come out.
And while many here are hopeful, given the recently unveiled immigration overhaul bill, they know the fight is far from over.
They work, and then there isn't a guarantee that they'll get citizenship, and we actually want a path towards citizenship.
There have been numerous marches and rallies. One of the largest along Broadway drew more than 3,500 people, according to officials, as they were calling for reform, a counter-protest in Orange County. Members of We the People, California's Crusaders, say the focus should not be on the 11 million undocumented immigrants.
Homelessness is burgeoning. Our American veterans live in poverty, and that should be the focus of our elected officials, not individuals who are living in this country illegally.
Back in downtown L.A., many marchers say there's a desperate need for change on so many levels.
I'm a social worker. We're all social workers, and we're here today to really speak out not only for our clients, but just for all of us who are part of the 99% of people who have way, way less of the resources that the top 1% has.
The LAPD says that so far all of those marches and rallies have been very peaceful. Say there have been no major arrests. Live in downtown Los Angeles, Leanne Suiters, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you.